There we are. Okay. Speak to you soon. So now we sit on a time of change. We sit on a time where change will take us into all sorts of new avenues and directions. It'll take some left and take some right. It'll take some forward, and it will take some backwards, back into their past before they step forward into their future. There are many that will evolve in many different ways. And these are the ways that the environment that they live in will encourage them to experience. All sorts of experiences are waiting. But the true experience is knowing who the one who experiences truly is. Who or what is that individual, that person, that observer, or anything else? So this year is a year of not just change, but the growth in evolution. We intend to take those who are following the year into many pathways. In this series of talks, we're going to look at the negative or challenging aspects of some emotions and beliefs. And next week, we will begin with the heaviest of those beliefs, which is shame and grief. And we will look at what they are and how they influence your being and your mind. As a contradiction to the heavier emotions, we will also offer exercises to promote the more positive emotion, to give us some balance. If you remember at our conversation maybe a month ago, we introduced the word kindness and said, have kindness within your being. And we will evolve that in a little while, and I will come to that soon. In the groups outside of this talk, we're going to look at the great blocks to the true spiritual self: the mind, the ego, and karma. This will fit in or connect to the spirit talks, but it'll take us on a different direction. It'd be looking at what is in the way to spirit, where it comes from, what it is, why is it here, how to recognize your ego, your mind, the karma that presented to you. And as a consequence, to recognize what is not your mind, your ego, and your karma, and point you back to your truth. So in one talks, we're looking at positive and negative emotions, and then we are looking at the false veil, which is in the way to your real self. The two connect very nicely together, but are different. The path will run different, but parallel. There will also be the free groups, which we will then show you how to practice your truth. There'll be a group on love, which are developing the very touches of unconditional love, not human love, but the truth of love beyond the physical self. And those which are ready within that group will then express love and find love running through their day, their life, their being, and feel it invested in all aspects of their connections to others. It is both beautiful, but at times challenging. It is a group which has evolved because they already touched the very edges of this life and needed to evolve just a little further so that they could understand the truth of connection that is awaiting. Now, this is a closed group, and at this stage, those who are in that group are already selected. But it will open up further at a later date, and others will be invited to join when they are ready. And this issue or connection to love, I will talk about in a few moments. There is another group which is on the verge of becoming a closed group, and that is practicing and developing manifestation and prediction. Now, this is the group which looks into the reality of knowledge. It says, can I bring that knowledge forward? Or can I bring it backwards if you are looking into the future? Can I bring it backwards to today and decide what is going to occur? And this gives an understanding of what is truly available to the individual, that there is more than what is between the ears and memory, more than logic and reason. And when that then is practiced to a certain level, then we will attempt to influence peace and order and the beings of others, so there can be more joy and peace and love within the world. But that is a process of practice and development. As I said, it's just about to be a closed, no others will be allowed in. If you are willing, there are possibly one, maybe two spaces available, but once that is concluded in the next few days, then that will become also a closed group, as the groups within that will need to become one in their practices. And therefore, no new admission will be allowed until it's open still further. There will be a third free group. And this group is to understand and to practice living a spiritual life. Small practices, small ways of developing, of understanding, of seeing your world, of bringing spirit into your daily world, through very simple practices which will then affect the way you see your life. Some will say that this is the most important of the groups, because it is right at the point of living a human life with a spiritual influence. And that sounds like it's going to be hard work. But the truth of the work will be no more than to observe, see what happens, become aware of what you do and how you do it. Now, that does not sound like difficult work to me, and I'm sure it does not sound difficult to you either. But I would encourage you to be present at that event. It is an ongoing, and it is brought to you so that you may practice and understand your life. Think of what your life would be like if you faced a challenge and you did not know of the spiritual aspects of your being that you could bring to that challenge. This would take you away from 99% of the world who have minimal understanding of the spirituality of life, and then give you choices of the way you truly are, and the way you respond, and the way you bring your attention or your effort into the challenges that life presents to you. So there are many different aspects of this year that will be presented to you. If you wish just to attend these talks And if you undertook the exercises that will be suggested to you in these talks, you will have some understanding. If you want to make it more serious, then there are other options for you, which I offered. Is this not the school that was promised some time ago? Is this not the education that you have been requesting or desiring of, how to live a better life? How to change your life away from pains and difficulties into a purer state? Is that not what you? The fact that you are listening to this, of course, says that this is what you. It just depends on what effort that you wish to place. Are you ready now or not? All of this that is offered to you now is no more than a reminder of your truth. If you remember your truth, then your process of reincarnation changes. If you become aware of your spiritual aspect, your journey through the afterlife, if you want to call it that, also changes. So life and life beyond death can change and can evolve. And it requires not much more from you than to observe, to become aware, to step away from the habit of the mind and the reactions or instincts of the being. And this is done through the practice of meditation. And in a few days' time, I offer meditation initiation. So you can learn the sacred mantra, and you can meditate and develop and grow with that mantra as it leads you on a journey. And it leads you to your truth, to the door of God that was promised last year. It brings you to the understanding that there is peace and there is love. And these are available to you. So I guess you could look at your life and say, is there love in me? Is there peace in my being? And if you can truly answer that question, not by the mind, but by the true understanding, then that will determine whether you need guidance and support or not. If love and peace is with you all the time, and you are aware of it all of the time, at best you need support. And your life looks like there is peace and love all around you constantly. If there is not love and peace in your world permanently, you should ask yourself, why not? Because that is my natural state. I am a natural being of love and peace. Why is it not with me? What am I doing wrong? Why is my world full of drama, chaos, confusion, difficulty, challenge, anger, pain, fear? If that is your world, then I would suggest we could change it, if you are willing. But of course, that is your choice. So if your life is either full of love and joy or not, then you can see that my work then is no more to come into your dream and to wake you up, Now, all this education, this guide, is on a group basis, an individual basis. And I attend you non-physically, and I stand with you outside of the physical connection. I am by your side. At the times of your grief and pain, I am there. At times when you think you have had a great victory, success, or joy, I will be there. I am there in equal amounts at all times, no matter what is occurring for you. But it is at times of your pain that you call me the most. Yet I am there at other times. I am constantly with you. If you allow me to be, you will recognize me. Not by name or hair color or height, because I am formless. I am not encapsulated in a body or even a name. Yet, in your physical world, it's a preference of the physical being to put form and structure around something which unfortunately defines and limits. So I conform to that for your benefit, but not because it is true. So your decisions for this year are, what do you want? And I have already laid it at your feet. You must choose it. It is for you. It is not for me. So now we will evolve into the next stage of our talk today. So let us break it up and now begin with the healing list of names, if I may have those, please.
Thank you. Carrie and Susie, Teresa Neal, Rouse, Sharon, Bill, Jody, Nicole, Julie, Helen, Howard, Nancy and Larry, Jody, Holly, Denise and Steve, Jet and Ricky B, Kathleen and Anne, Stephanie and Claudio, Sawyer and Sharon, Jim and Michaela, Tamara and Jonah, Mitsuki Kai, Dave and Keiko, Kevin and Susie, Eric, Stephen, Matthew, Mirabai, Jody, Marianne, Louise, Jeanette, Nicole, Sharon, Bill, Julie, Jody, Noah, Maheshwari, Kripa, Lorna, Duncan, and of course, may all be happy.
So a suggestion was made to you around a month ago, and that was to have kindness in your being. Have it within your heart and your mind. Kindness. And to observe and to see what happens in your world when there is kindness within yourself. Now, as I said, we will be introducing a positive emotion next week, another. So your practice just for this coming week is slightly changed. Let kindness still be within your mind and your heart. But for the week, recognize others' acts of kindness. And you may use a phrase, and this phrase is just an example. Please adapt it to suit yourself. You may notice that a certain assistant has done something nice, either for yourself or for a stranger on another side of the room. And you acknowledge their kindness and say, thank you for being kind. The world is such more of a beautiful place when there is kindness in the world. So you acknowledge the kindness or the kind acts or the kind words or behaviors of another. You have kindness within your being. And you should observe what happens on these two aspects, kindness in yourself and the acknowledgement of kindness or a kind act of kindness in another. Observe what happens. Just see. Things will take place once you have left that room. So you may have influenced the life of another by simple recognition of what is true in them. The act of kindness, the being of love, presence, joy, contentment, peace. Now, you should not go forcing to look at kindness, but you should recognize it. Now, there is a reason. As when there is kindness in your being, you will see kindness in the world. And when you acknowledge kindness in the world, it strengthens the kindness within you. And the kindness in you strengthens the kindness in another. So it's like a reinforcement. But it is also an acknowledgement in the other person that they do indeed have love. And that love in them spills over into their kindness to perhaps another party, another person. And if they are sufficiently aware, they'll recognize that they have joy in the giving of kindness. Regardless of what is received by yet another person, that they have joy in. So you are reinforcing their true spiritual nature by acknowledging their kindness. See what happens. Now, the next part of my talk today is going to be about love. As we begin this talk, you should look at what I am to say in reflection to your education and learning, to the giving of healing. And in healing, I do also refer to readings and connections of others. How you should pick your teacher, or your group, or your friends, or your partner. So this has many contexts. And I would like particularly to emphasize that if you are one that does healing work, this is the way that you'll promote your healing ability. as in increase your ability. Also, the way you will attract clients. It will emphasize to you, I would hope, if you are clear, why you are not effective in your work, why you have no client or minimum, and what you can do about it. So this is going to take a little bit of thought. And this thought must be, perhaps, if you like, a little critical of yourself, a little bit of understanding of yourself, and point you in the right way, I would hope. So let us begin. We've said at previous times that the evolution of one's being is away from the body into the mind, and then from the mind into the heart, and then from the heart into whatever else is beyond that. So in our discussions next week at this time, we'll talk about the heavier emotions that exist within the body and belief of the body and how it affects the body. And if you were to pick a group or a teacher that honors the body, then the best your learning would be related to various body activities. And this vibrational rate will take you more into instinctive or habitual. Not more, if you like this term, animalistic, physical. But as one evolves beyond the body and understands the mind, then the evolution of man becomes based on logic and reason. And if you are one that wishes to follow logic and reason and mind, then you would find a teacher that exists in that realm. And you would learn structure and order, maybe numbers as well. The evolution of man gets very limited by the rationale and the working of the mind. But it cannot evolve further, because anything beyond the mind is very challenging for the mind. The heart is almost alien for a logical thinker. So then we go to heart. And now we have those evolving the heart, the subconscious mind, the feeling of subject rather than object. Intuition, imagination, creativity will exist within this state. The feelings at the beginning, the very inklings of love, true love, developing into far greater expressions of love start to occur. And if you wish to learn heart-based or non-physical based knowledge or understanding, then you must leave behind those which educate purely from body and mind. So you must find a group or a teacher that is evolved sufficiently beyond logic and reason. If you want to be a heart-based person, well, there is challenge in working in a mind-based industry or group. So in the heart-based work, we have healing, for example, other things, of course. So in your healing practice, are you healing with mind or healing with heart? Are you working with fear, structure, and control? Or are you healing from love? So if you want your practice to increase, you must let go of mind and increase heart. All healing happens because of heart, of love. So this is why there is a group practicing, developing, focusing on love. Those which are in that group will know that they are experiencing more synchronicities, more connection of spirit, more growth in self, more healing ability, more spontaneity. Does not mean that this is easy. It just means that that is the natural state of love. Now, it's very easy for you to say that, yes, 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 I am a being of love, when really you are caught in mind, and just say, I am a being of love. And if you think of those beings which are evolved into love, does not the great healings take place at that stage? Is not love also attractive to others? Do not others gravitate towards love? So now you can see your practice of evolving your healing modality: love, connection, sharing, giving, kindness. Not to be found in the physical world, but beyond that. So I would encourage you to be critical of your environment. At least observe your environment. Say, where am I working? Of course, you may be working in your day job, which may be mind-based. In our practices in other groups, we will show you how to bring non-physical into the physical, to bring love into the mind, to bring love into the body and the physical world. That is the point of the groups, to bring the worlds, two sides of the veil, both worlds together. So you are living spirit rather than a living body or mind. So if you wish to develop your healing ability, practice love. If you are not developing it, or if the development is not occurring, there is something wrong with your practice of love. If that is the case, you can send a message to the medium, and he will either guide you himself or pass you to one of the people in the group of love. Once love becomes visible to you, and it is felt or experienced, it is not believed, but it is known, and your life changes. And of course, you can see that yourself by the exercise of practicing kindness. Does not your life change? Observe and find out. So if you wish to pick an appropriate teacher or group or environment that you wish to dwell, You must look for one, either an individual or a group that is evolved to the level that you wish to learn. And then you will join that appropriate group or satsang or sangha, which together you will evolve into your new vibration. If you want to be a heart person, there is no point in studying solely within the mind. The mind will be useful at other times. So pick where you should be or wish to be. So if you think about what is available to you, you have a broad range of options which are evolving you, growing you, increasing your vibration, affecting your work, either spiritual work or even your day-to-day work, by bringing the truth of love and peace into the world. Over the course of this year, there will be other groups and times. Others will take on roles of teaching and guiding. Others will find an expression of their truth. Others will see what is important. And all of this is with the evolution of a non-physical being. And the groups that are mentioned, those three groups, that satsang, the group itself, that is where the guru will be. The group will be the guru. Now, this is a big message if you truly understand it. That together in those groups, you will follow the path of either love, knowledge, or consciousness. And those individual groups are what will guide others at other times. The unity of the group will form a non-physical being themselves. And that non-physical being will be that guru that they seek. So they will be one with their guru. To begin with, that will look like myself. But that may not be where it finishes. Also, there will be other opportunities. This is an immense period of time for those which are truly evolving in their spiritual life. And this is in the basis of love. Now, all of the teaching or opportunities I offer to are on no more of a basis of you find out, see what happens. If you find it to be truthful, then you can practice it. If it does not sit comfortably with you, then you may reject it. There are a few times when I will say, trust me, do this in a group basis, and expect you to just do what is required without first experimenting and you finding out for yourself. Is that not reasonable? Do I not give before I expect you to receive or to do? Do you not then learn both from words and then experience and then understanding? Is that also not unreasonable? So our period of time is complex. You do not need to worry about that. This period of time is not possible by anything other than a greater intelligence than the physical world has. The right people at the right time in the right place is not a coincidence. The process of opening, of developing, of growing is not a random event. It will take a little choice. And of course, it will take a little bit of your time. Is it not given to you freely for you to understand? So if you are not initiated into the act of meditation, I encourage you to do so and understand the truth of meditation, because the process we take is important. But you must decide if you want that. So our work truly begins later this week as we walk more truly away from body and mind into heart and beyond. By evolving your sight and reflecting that in your physical life, your practices, the work that you must do. So at the end of this period of learning that we undertake, the aim is that you will see what is not you more clearly. And by inference, then you will begin to recognize what is. We will have begun our conclusion times before the end of our sessions this year. Because those small exercises of practicing kindness, acknowledging kindness, is the practice of reinforcing your understanding of your truth. So we would hope you would have more connection to the real parts of you and seeing the false part, seeing the anchors that keep you trapped in the physical world or the body, and then realizing that those ties which hold you back do not exist. So if you wish, you could say the goal this year is freedom. Freedom of mind, of heart, freedom of being, understanding what is false and limits you, and developing to more what is truly you. Many will be set free. Some have already begun. And if you become free, is that also not what you truly want? And it is here now. I guide you towards that freedom. Is it what you want? I would suggest so. So our work begins. Our sails are set. The boat will be untied from the shore. Our foundations will grow, become solid, and the world will not hold us back any longer. Let us sail together and have a freedom of being that you know that is within you. But if you wish to stay grounded, tied, restricted, safe, your time will come. So I wish you all well in your practice of kindness. Please observe. God bless you all.
God bless you, Ignatius.